And hello, finally we are live. Thank you all for coming to my workshop, and I'm super excited that we are making this happen. Sorry for the delay, I just wanted to make sure that everything is live and going on LinkedIn and on YouTube as well. So first, I just wanted to be sure on to make you guys understand why I'm making this workshop in the first place and who this workshop and live stream is for. So just to give it a background, a couple of months ago, I created a portfolio, React portfolio website, and uploaded that on my YouTube channel and on Free Code Camp, and it was a huge success. But the problem with it was that I haven't created a portfolio section on portfolio website, which doesn't make much sense. I think you would agree with that. And so I received hundreds of messages, people asking me to implement that part and to make it public as well, and also to maybe create a mobile version as well. But creating a portfolio section is something that is absolutely necessary. So I finally made time to do this, and like I said, I'm super happy to finally do it. Next week I'm going on vacation, and most likely I'm gonna be for a little bit of time. And I just wanted to give back to the community. I feel obligated to people who are following me and who are also supporting me. And I just felt like I need to do this. I need to, create something to make this portfolio website complete. Today we're not going to do anything too complex. I just want to make, like I said, complete this React portfolio website. So who this workshop is for people who watched the first video on React portfolio website. If you haven't, you can go in the description of this live stream. Hopefully it's there. If not, please send me a message on chat, and I will check it. But there should be a link on the video and on the GitHub. So if you haven't built or watched, you can follow along with me. You can just download the repository and install the packages, and we can do. If you want to watch later, it's going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel. It's going to be uploaded to the LinkedIn, and you can watch later whenever you want. It doesn't matter. I would like a lot of people to code along with me, because we can bond and we can learn a lot with each other. I see a lot of messages, and I'm super happy to see so many people are joining already. So the idea is this can be just first workshop. Later on, we can continue making the applications. And the reason why I think this workshop could be a good thing is because on my portfolio website course, and basically on my React course and Angular course, I'm giving you information and sharing knowledge on the features of the libraries and frameworks. But without practical knowledge, it doesn't mean much. So it's not going to get you far away. So you need to have the real projects under your belt in order to be ready to become a working professional. And that's it. So we can start doing this workshop to see if they are, if they bring value to you guys, and we can discuss later on what we want to build together, and we can, break them down into multiple session, multiple workshops. And I think it can be very useful for all the people who are trying to learn the front end. I see so many messages. I'm overwhelmed. Okay, I don't want to waste too much of your time. Let's jump on the code and start doing. Let me explain what we are going to be doing today. So, like I said, I'm just gonna build the portfolio section of our React portfolio website. And let me share my screen if I haven't yet. And sorry, this is my first time live streaming, so pardon me if I have any errors. I'm trying to learn this as well. So yeah. I have started my application. As you can see, this is the website that we built on this React portfolio video. So what I'm trying to do now is to add a portfolio section. We have home, about, and a contact. We need to have portfolio section, definitely. And that's something that we are going to do that today. And it's going to be very simple. We're just going to add a title, and we're going to add a boxes below that. And that's it. It's going to have an image, title, description, and a link where you can go and showcase what you have built. This is intended for web developers, but it can be used for any type of any type of portfolio website. So that's it. Okay, I guess we can start. First, inside of so if you have downloaded the repository, just go and run npm start, and that should start your application. In case you cannot hear me, let me just turn off the background music. I enjoy the music, but yeah, maybe you're having trouble of hearing me. So inside of the source components folder, let's add a new component. and new folder, and it's going to be called portfolio. Okay. And the convention that I was following for every single component is that to have index.js file and index.scss file for the import reasons. Yeah. So I want to continue following this conventions, naming convention. So index.js file is for our portfolio component, a new file for SCSS, index.scss. Okay. Now, inside of our index.js file, import React on top. React, okay. Let me just check the chat quickly if you guys can hear me. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can hear me. Hello from Brazil. Hello, guys. Yeah, nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna create a boilerplate code here. So basically, I'm just gonna do const portfolio equals, and I'm just gonna return something like, I don't know, div, and say hello. The thing is, I just want to create this boilerplate code in order to hook up, create routes, and create navigation on the left side. So let's just do export default portfolio. Okay, perfect. Now, what I want to do is I want to go to app.js folder. I can copy one of these routes that we have already and add a new one. Name it portfolio. Portfolio and the element, the component that we just created, portfolio. And just make sure that you import it on top. Here, the Visual Studio Code is doing that for me, so that's very neat. If I save that, now we should have a new portfolio route created. And let me just open up portfolio. Yes, we should have it. Let me just check the console if there are any errors. No errors here, so great. We cannot see the title that I created because it's underneath of the left sidebar. Okay, cool. You can close that up. And now what I can do is I can go, first thing which I want to do is to create icon here, and so that we can navigate and see when it's active, the actual page itself. Okay, so you can copy. I will leave a little bit of screen so you can copy the text that I'm creating. But yeah, on the sidebar, index.js file, we have the navigation here. We have for the homepage, for the user, and for the contact. And again, we can just reuse the same code. I'm using nav link here. Active class name, it's active. Here, class name, we're gonna create this new class, portfolio, and we will use that to style our active link. And to route is going to be portfolio, the one that we just added. For the icon, it's gonna be FA suitcase. Okay, yes, and again, this case is being auto imported with Visual Studio Code, so make sure to import that on top. Okay, and let me just check. Okay, we have that. It's active class now. It works perfectly. Cool. That's nice. The only thing which is missing now, if I go and if you can see when I hover over the home component about section, we get this text. But if I hover over the portfolio section, I don't get the text. The reason for that is because I'm adding that through the CSS. So if I go here, you can see on hover, I'm adding the content. So we can do the same for portfolio. And the class that we created is portfolio link. Okay, because I'm following the same convention about link, on the others as well. And go to, instead of the contact link, add the portfolio link. And we want portfolio. Okay, it's going to be a little bit long. Let's see. Yeah, we have now portfolio. It's overflowing the boundaries of the sidebar, but I don't mind it because it's just on the hover. You can make it different if you want, but I'm good with that. I don't mind it. Okay, cool. Now let's close up the sidebar. I think we're done with the sidebar, and we can finally continue creating our portfolio page. Let's import index.scss file. Let me just check our community here. Sorry for interrupting, but I just wanted to see if you are live and there is no issues, because this is my first live workshop, so I want to make sure that everything works correctly. Okay, so I imported the index CSS file so that it's connected, and now we can start doing the actual portfolio section. So what I'm going to do here, first I want to create a wrapper, right? And the only thing that we are going to have on our portfolio page is the title, like I said, title on top, which is going to be animated, same as the other pages, and portfolio boxes below that. So add a div, and actually I want to wrap that inside of the curly braces and add a div. And for div, we actually have naming convention again for all the components. So if you go there and check, we have this like container, which shares the same class, and we have about page. So in our case, it's going to be, I like to copy paste a lot. If you notice, it's going to be container, and it's going to be portfolio page. Okay, cool. And inside of that, let's add h1. So this is going to be a title. And the class name, the title is going to be page title. Okay. And here we're going to have portfolio. Cool. Okay. If I go refresh and check right now, we can see it here. We haven't applied any styles yet, so it's terrible, I know, but stick around with me. It's going to be better. Another thing which I'm following on other pages is to have the Pacman loader. So let me just show you. If I go, for example, on the about page, you can see we have this nice Pacman loader. If you go to portfolio, we don't have that. Let's add it quickly. So I added the wrapper around the div, and below that, I want to add loader, if I can spell it. Okay, sorry, loader. Okay, loader, and it's imported from React Loaders package. Okay, and the type should be Pacman. Yes. Let me just see. I have some error. Let me just see. Okay. Okay. Type is equal Pacman. Okay, nice. Sorry for that. And there you go. So if I refresh the page, you can see that we get this nice loading animation. Okay, now for the page title, actually for the h1 tag, here I just pasted the simple text, but what I'm using on other pages, and let me show you again if you haven't watched it. So we are using this custom component which is called animated letters, and this component receives an argument of the letters and it animates it. And you can apply the classes, so you can apply later on hover effects. So if I go to, let's say, about page, you see about is animating, and you can hover over after that, and it gets this rubber effect. So that's the same thing which we have on every single page, and I want to have that on the portfolio section as well. And now we can really easily implement that because we created this animated letter component. So I will just remove this part and just import animated letters component. Again, make sure that it's imported, on top. Here it's automatically imported for me. And the first thing which I want to add is index, which is it's 15 for me. The reason for that is why it's 15. This is like a delay. So for me, I created a class in the styles global file, where basically every single class is having 1 millisecond of delay. So I want to add 15 here so that we wait first to page to reload or load initially, and then start the animation. So this is like a delaying of the animation, and you can play around with it if you want to start sooner or later. The second argument is string array, and what we can do here, we can add a portfolio. It accepts array. I mean, this could be refactored to just accept the word and then do the destructuring inside of the component. But yeah, I'm learning while I'm coding as well. So what we can do here is just split that and create an array of characters. So that's what we are sending here. Cool. Yes, and one thing I forgot. So here, actually, we need to add another property, which is called letter class. And with letter class, we're adding basically a classes for animation because we are using CSS, anime.css for animating everything on this website, almost everything. And how we want to create this, we want to update this class. So like I said, initially we are loading the letters to pop up, and after that we are applying that hover effect as a rubber band. So we want to apply two classes. To do that, I'm going to use the use state hook. So first, use the const to create a letter class, the one that we are going to be sending here, and the one that we're going to update after the initial loading has been done and the initial animation has been done. And the second argument is set letter class, and you're going to use state. And again, make sure that it's imported on top. For the initial value, set the text animate. That's our initial class. And yeah, it's going to be assigned here. Now if we go, you can see that our title is being animated. If you can see. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, but let's apply some styles there so that we can see so that we can see our title. Let me close the about section and let me open up the index.ses file. So first thing first, as this is the title that we have, like I said, on all the other pages. And what I can do, I can just go on the layout and use the styles that we applied on other pages. So if I go to index.css file, I can find the other pages as well. So what I can do is I can just copy paste this line and change it to be portfolio page. Portfolio page. And just to make one difference, because we don't have a text zone here. We just have H1 and we don't even have a paragraph. So what I want to do is I want to remove the text zone from wrapping around this and just move it below that. Okay, cool. Let me just indent it a little bit. Okay, cool. Yes. And now we should have our title. Yes, we should have applied some styles to it. Now let's just position it correctly. Okay, I can close the layouts and yeah, I can open up the index SCSS file of the portfolio section. So let's first target the portfolio page. Okay. Portfolio page, and let's add some padding on the left so that we can see. Actually, my numlock is turned off, so okay. 100 pixels on the left. On the right, let's add 50 pixels. Okay, that's better. We're not now starting to see as you can see on our portfolio title, we get this after and before pseudo elements added so that we have these nice H1 tags. Let me just see if our community is following. It's so stunning. Hi Peru, hi Brazil. Nice. I see that South America is watching. I guess this is the right timing for you guys there. Okay. Let's continue. So add the width of our page to be use the calculation function and add 100% minus this padding that we just added, so 150 pixels. Okay, reset the position to be initial, because on other pages we're actually using absolute, and here it's going to mess up. For height, use the 100% and use the overflow, because again, on the other pages, we don't have scroll bars. It's everything is contained inside of the pages itself. And here we can have hundreds, portfolios. So we want to overflow and add that scroll. Okay. Now let's style our title. It's called page title. Okay. And here I would need to add H1 so that we have specific CSS targeting, and because we have a couple of page titles on our pages and styles, so I need to add H1 in order to have this CSS target specific, so it's overriding other rules. Let's add a margin left so it's indented a little bit more. Margin left 100 pixels, and margin top 100 pixels as well. So yeah, so now it's at the right position finally. Cool. And yeah, that's it. Let's now start building the portfolio section below that title. So what I want to do is I will just create another method which is going to be, rendering this content. So add a div, and just we will create a new method which is called render portfolio. Okay. And here we will pass a data. The one thing I just want to explain. So let me just, in ideal situation, you would want to have like a dashboard where you can go with the form inputs, and you can enter the name, description, the title of your portfolio, and to upload the image. But here we don't have that. And ideally, maybe in some future projects and workshops, we can create dashboard for your portfolio section where you can upload all these things, and you don't have to do that manually. And use like a Firebase database to hold this data and retrieve and update. But now we don't have that. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna create a mock data. A mock data which will represent something that you usually have in your databases for your portfolio section, and I will pass that data here to render portfolio, which will later just render that data. So let's do that. Okay. So inside of this source folder, create a new folder, and let's call it data. Okay. And inside of this folder, create a new file called portfolio.json. Cool. Here we're gonna create mock data. Like I said, you want to have this dynamically created, but here we're just creating this, something that, I mean, you can use this. I used this previously, but it's better if you have something that is created using forms. Yeah, it's much easier. So we're creating a JSON object, and the property of this object is portfolio root property, portfolio. Okay, portfolio, and inside of this, so it's gonna have array of portfolios. Obviously, the first thing is gonna be cover, and it's gonna be cover image that we're going to create. So let's create in the public folder new folder which is gonna be called portfolio, and you want to have separated portfolios by folders. I'm very bad at naming conventions, so I'm just gonna create folder with name 1, but you can do whatever you want. So let me just go and open up that in File Explorer, and let me go and find a file which we can use to create a cover image. And here it's named 2. I will name it 1. Okay, as one image. It doesn't matter. You can put whatever you want. So in the cover URL, you can put portfolio slash name is 1 of the folder, and the image is 1.png. And this, we will use this as a cover image. Then we need to have a title. This specific portfolio is GGVP, which stands for good game well played. Gamers will know. Description, and in description, I would put like skills that I use to create this portfolio. So for this one, React, JSX, Tailwind, you can put whatever you want, Jest, and so on and so forth. And at the end, you want to have a URL so that you can showcase this portfolio, whether it's on live on web or you have uploaded that to your maybe website and you have some custom URL. So put the property URL, and I don't know, I'm just making this up. So google.com, you probably heard of that company. Now, if you want to, create more portfolios, you will just copy and paste this inside of this array, and you will have more portfolios. Okay. Now, what we want to do is we want to go to our index file and import this. So go to on very top and import. Let's call it portfolio. We are importing here our JSON file from, and let's go up in two folders and go to data folder. Then we have let me see, just data and yeah, it's portfolio JSON, name of the file, portfolio.json. Okay, cool. Let me just log that out to see if we are getting that correctly. Console.log. Okay. Now if I go to, okay, we cannot resolve portfolio. Yes. Okay, we have. Okay, let me see. Probably I have error in the naming. Actually, it looks like that I have created a data folder inside of the components folder, not inside of the source, which I wanted to create. So just move that into the source. Okay, replace that. Let me just see. Now it's inside of the, yeah, now it's inside of the, so your data folder should be inside of the source. I think that makes much more sense rather than putting it inside of the components folder. Okay, now let me go. Okay, render portfolio is not defined. Line 20, let me just see what's that. Okay, import portfolio data. Okay, this is basically what we are importing. Let me just restart my server. Okay. Starting the development server. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I'm getting the error render portfolio is not, because I'm calling the method which we don't have. Okay, yeah. That's the one, not the portfolio data. So let me just comment out the render portfolio, and let me open up the log to see what we're getting. Okay. Okay, we are getting portfolio array, as you can see. Let me zoom in. And inside of this portfolio, we have cover, description, title, and the URL. So this is something similar what you would do when you're fetching from the API, and you would get something like this. Okay, now we can create this. Now we can create this render portfolio method, and yeah, where we can receive this portfolio data and just go and map through it, and that's it. Okay, so actually, I think that I forgot one thing before we continue with the render portfolio. So if you remember, after initial animation that we have on the portfolio, we don't have the hover effect here because we are not updating the class. So that's something which I forgot to do. So and let me do that quickly. So we can do that using use effect. Use effect. Okay. And in the use effect, we're just going to create a timer. And after initial animation is done, we're just going to change the class using the set letter class. That's it. So let's create a const timer, and it's gonna receive the set timeout output. Here inside of the timeout, the only thing that we want to do is to call the set letter class and apply the hover effect animation. So it's the class is called text animate hover. Very neat, right? And I want to apply the timeout after 3 seconds. And we want to clean up our timer. So just call the function clear timeout and return that. Return the timer. Okay, cool. Now let's see. Animation is done. And now we have that rubber hover effect. Cool. You guys are following? Cool. Yeah, I agree, guys. I should use the absolute import. That's something we can do as well. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Now we can continue with the render portfolio section. Okay. Finally, right. So create a class, function, const render portfolio, and this one is going to receive portfolio. I regret now because I haven't used the TypeScript and style components. It would be much more, modern tutorial, but that's something we can do later, right? So portfolio is going to receive the portfolio array, which we can map. And here I'm going to return our component. So what I'm going to create first is going to be container. Class name, images, container. Okay, cool. And inside of this container, we're going to grab our portfolio and map to it. Okay. So we don't need, we can't use that. Inside of our map, I'm gonna receive a portfolio and the index. I'm gonna use index as a key for our items because in our data set, we don't have indexes. This is a bad practice usually, but when you have real data from the database, you usually have indexes, and you should use that to map your arrays. But I don't have that, so yeah. And inside of our map, just return div again. And this div should have a key. I'm going to use the index, which is, like I said, it's something that you don't want to use in your real life, scenarios. And the class name, image, let's call it image box. I'm very, very bad at naming conventions. This could be called much, much better. Yeah. So inside of this image box, we're going to place an image, obviously. And the source of the image is going to be ports. And let me see how we named our source. So inside of the data portfolio JSON, it's called cover. Okay. So port.cover, that's going to be source. Don't forget to put the alt attribute. Let's just put portfolio. And let's add a class name, because what I want to do with this image, I want to set it to cover the entire image box and to be as something like a cover image, as it says the name of it. So set the class name to portfolio image. Cool. Okay. Save that up and see. One thing I haven't called this method. Just comment out that, and we need to pass the portfolio data as an argument. Portfolio data dot, and the name of the property is portfolio, if I'm not wrong. And okay, we're receiving the image that I'm sending. Couple of things I want to add here. I want obviously to style these to look much, much better, to add some hover effects, and I will add a title, description, like I said, and a link to external website. Let me see if the guys are following along. Yeah, the recording is going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel and on LinkedIn as well. So don't worry if you haven't been following from the beginning. Okay, so yeah, what we can do is we can go and style a little bit, the things that we just created here. Uh, I'm assuming that we're going to have a multiple portfolios. So let me just represent that. So if we have like two of them here, okay, I need to remove the. Okay, as you can see here, this is not the layout that I want to have. So I want to have them like one next to each other and most likely four in a row. So that's something that we need to fix. The name of the container is images container. Okay. Name is images container. Display flex. Okay, cool. And let's add a gap in between them, 15 pixels. Also, I want them to wrap. So when they come to the end of row, to wrap down. Flex, wrap, and add padding bottom. Maybe, I don't know, 100 pixels. Okay, that's on the container itself. So that's on the very bottom. Cool. Now, if we go to and see, we have image box. So this is the actual image. So yeah, as you can see now, they are next to each other, and we put the gap here, which is 15 pixels. Okay, that looks better. Okay, so for the image box, I want to set the position to relative because the image is going to be positioned absolutely. So the container needs to be positioned relatively, so it doesn't go outside of the boundaries of the container. Flex, for the flex property, I'm going to put 1, 1, and 20%. This should basically give the image box like to have the width of like 25%, something like that. So basically, you want to have here 4 image boxes in a row. Set the height to be 400 pixels. Overflow to be hidden. Okay. Let's add a little bit of border radius so it's nice and rounded. 10 pixels. So let me see. Yeah. Okay. It's just rounded on the left side because the image is not taking the full width of the container. Border radius 10 pixels. And let's add a max width. Max width to be, and use the, again, calc function to use the, to subtract the 25% from, and we use 10 pixels as a margin in between. So we need to subtract that. Yes, as you can see, this is the max width that we want to have. And now we have both top corners rounded, but we want to have the same on the bottom. So we need to style the image itself to have this. Okay. So let's target the image. Image is called, the class name is called portfolio image. Let's go to index file. And inside of the image box, yeah, let's add there. Let's nest their portfolio image. So like I said, position is going to be absolute because we want to stretch it. Okay, let's put z index because we want to have it on, as the index 2. We don't want the things to overflow the image, portfolio image. The index 2, width to be 100%, height to be 100%. So it's gonna in this tutorial we're gonna have a lot of CSS as well because I mean it's front end. So if you don't like that, you're in the wrong place. Object fit cover. Okay, cool. And let's see now. Yeah, as you can see, now we're taking the full width of our box image, and yeah, it's rounded. It looks much better in my opinion. If this is too large, I'm just gonna shrink it down a little bit for you guys. Okay, I think that's it. What I wanted to do with the image. Now I want to display the other informations that we have inside of our portfolio. So as you can see, we have the title, description, URL. So I want to create elements for that as well. Okay, so below our image, let's add another div. Okay, and class name, let's say content. Why not? I mean, very diverse. We want to have a paragraph with a class name. Let's call it the title, and here we're just gonna put the property. Um, the name of our object is port, and the property that we want to use, let's see in the portfolio, is title. Okay, cool. I think we cannot see it because we're positioning our image as absolute and giving z next to, so we cannot see it. But if I go and inspect, you can see that we have content and we have title here. And actually, we're getting the title that we created there. Okay. Below the paragraph, let's add h4 and class name, description. And for this one, I'm going to use, again, port is the name of our object. And the property is called, let me see, it's description. Let's copy paste so you don't have any errors. And after and below that, I want to add a button. So this button is going to have view text, so you can click on it and see this portfolio. Add a class name of, let's say, button, and on click we can use to open up. We can use to open up our portfolio. So just use window.open and use the port is the name of the object, and the property name is URL. Cool. URL. Okay. And let me just check if we have some errors or not. If you don't, that's perfect. There's no errors. Yeah. And we have the images container, and inside of the image box, we have image, content, we have title, description, and the button. That's all we want to have. Cool. Now, in order to see this, we need to apply some styles, right? Okay, so we stopped at the portfolio image. The next one is content. Let me just see. Yeah, the content. Okay, cool. Let me copy that over. That content. So I want to position this absolute as well. Why I want to position this absolute is because I want to apply some hover effect. So this is going to be positioned on top of our image, and it's going to be moved a little bit on bottom, so you cannot see the link of it. And once you hover over the box, it's going to pop up into the box, and it's going to be nice. Trust me. Width set to 100%. Let's put z index 3 because we are using 2 on the image, so it's on top of it. Now if I go, it should be visible here. Yeah. Let's add some padding. Padding 10 on top and bottom, and 20 pixels left and right. Okay. Let's add some transition because, like I said, we're going to have some hover effect. We have some predefined on the Visual Studio Code. Let's just use some, let me see. Here's one, this one, okay. Transition, it's gonna add nice, I mean, the cubic Bezier method, it basically is gonna give you that nice smooth transition. So you're not just gonna get some, strange changing positions. And let's add a background. The background, let's use linear gradient. And let's use the 180 degrees, the angle, and it's going to be the black. Basically, it's going to be the black background, which is, making the text more visible. So the RGBA is for transparency. Just use the zeros for the black one, and use the 0.2. That's very low opacity. The stop point is going to be 0, and again, RGB is going to be black color and set to 1. Okay. So this is going to be solid, very solid. Let's see what we have. Yeah, that's the result that I want to have with the content, but I just want to have this on the bottom, not on the top. The initial position is going to be bottom minus value because, like I said, I want it to get into the screen. So something like minus 70 pixels. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me comment that out, and we can that apply later once we add the styles for the title and description and for the button as well. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's content. Now let's add some styles to title. Let me just see the chat and the folks. Yes, we can make a render portfolio separate components. So it could be called like, that could be even better practice. So like you can create like a portfolio section inside of the separate component. That's like the best practice you can follow. But this is something when you're lazy and you can include that into a single component. Best practice, create a separate component, separate file. Yeah. Thank you, Aniket, yeah, for the comment. I'm glad that you guys are following. So yeah. And yeah, I forgot to say one thing, guys. So after this coding session, we're gonna have the Q&A session. So stay until end of it, and hopefully I'll try to answer all of your questions. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. So where we are at? Yeah, we finished up the content. So now we need to style the title. Content, style the title. Okay, for the title, let's remove the margin on the bottom. Remove the margin on the top. Color we want to white to be for all elements, so it's just FFF. Font size, just to increase it a little bit, so it's 24 pixels. Let's add a little bit bolder text, something in the middle, like 500. And line height need to be the same as font size. At least that's something what I like to do. Okay, yeah, now it's more visible, the title. Okay. Now for the description. Add the font size as 14 pixels. Margin bottom 5 pixels. Color, again, we want to have this as well. White because we have the dark background. So we want to have a contrast here. And again, I want this to be bold. So font weight to be 700. Okay. That's nice. Okay. And the last thing that I want to target here is the button. Okay, let me just see what is the class name. Oh, well, very nice class name. That's button. Okay. Okay, so for the button, add some separation here. So margin top 30 pixels, margin bottom 10 pixels. Let's make that color a little bit. Let's make that button a little bit nicer. So add a padding top and bottom 0 and 23 pixels on left and right. Okay, increase the height. So let's say 40 pixels. Visual Studio Code is failing on me. Okay, that's much bigger button now. Cool. Height 40 pixels. Let's add line height so it's aligned like 34. And let's add some border. 2 pixels, solid. And across our website, we're using this yellow color. So yeah, that's this green, sorry, yellow color. So I want to use that as well on this button. So border 2 pixels, solid, that one. And add a little bit of border radius, like 4 pixels. Okay, cool. Font size at 14 pixels. Cool. And let me see, again, looks better. Color, again, let's use the white one. Background set to be transparent. Okay, much nicer. A couple more of these. Let's set the text transform to the uppercase. Okay, we could use, I mean, we can change in the SX as well, but yeah, this is just to make sure. Let's make the font bold. Font weight 700. Cool. And let's use this transition because we're going to add some hover effect as well. Let's use this transition setting. Okay. Transition. Cool. Okay, transition, actually, we need to set the all properties. Transition, we need to set what properties are going to have this transition applied. So all, duration, and 0.3 seconds. Yeah, and I think I missed that one here. Yeah. So for transition, if you call this property, you need to set what properties are applying this transition, duration, and this is the actual transition. Yeah, cubic base 0. Cool. And the last one, I want to have a cursor pointer. Cursor. Okay. Cool. And if I click on it, okay, yes, I get the Google. Cool. Now let's add a hover effect button on hover. Let's add, let's move it a little bit up. So add transform, translate Y minus 3 pixels. Cool. And let's swap the colors. So use the background to be the white one, because right now it's transparent. So just not swap, just use the background to be white one, to be yellow. Okay, cool. That's nice. Cool. Now, what I want to do is I want to add some. I want to add a little bit of styles to our image box. So what I want to do is I want to add an overlay, and once you hover over this image box, it should be used to separate better the content that we have on top and content that we have on the bottom. So as you can see now, it's really hard to understand and read this text. So if we add a little bit of overlay and some gradient, it will be much more visible. We can use that creating. You don't have to create any new element. We can just use. Let me just see. Yeah, we can just use the image box. Image box and add after. Yeah, we can add the content to be empty string here. Cool. And we can add the background. Again, I'm going to use the linear gradient. The same, 180 degrees, the first value. The second value is going to be our yellow color, default yellow color for this theme. And it's going to transition to the black, which is just zeros. We want to position this absolutely. Now let's take it to cover entire image box. So left 0, right 0, bottom 0, and top 0. Okay, and let's take it 100% width and 100% height. Cool. Initially set the, and yeah, we want to have transition. Again, let's use this transition. Okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, I don't see anything. Just a second. Top 0. Okay. Yeah, I don't have z index, so it's not visible. Z index 2. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Okay, let me just see. The values are top. The width, the height, opacity, height is there. The width, it's top, bottom, 0. Yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. Now what I want to set the opacity to be 0. And once we hover over, I want to make it visible. So hover after, and now set the opacity to be not full opacity, but 0.85. Okay, 85. So it's not 100%. Okay. The one thing that I want to do is I want to move this on the bottom, like I said. So let's uncomment the bottom minus 70%. So it takes the position that I want here. Okay, now the only thing that is visible is like the title and the description. And when we hover over, I want it to move on a little bit up and to see the button there. So let's apply that on hover. Let's use the hover and target. The name of it is content. Content, set the bottom to be 0. Okay. Nice. And I could remove the background so that we only see that yellow one, background transparent. Cool. Yeah, let me try. Yeah, sweet. And if you click on new, yep, you can open up. And now if you want to add multiple portfolios, you would just go here, like I said, just copy paste and obviously add new portfolios in the folder, you know, add new ones in this portfolio JSON file, and it gets rendered automatically. Ideally, like I said, you want to have a dashboard where this can be populated using the inputs, form input elements, and stored in a Fire database or something else. And yeah, it would be really easy to update your portfolio, portfolio projects, or just to delete, remove, and to have something to impress the employers and the possible clients as well. And I think that's basically it. That's the thing that I wanted to build with you guys. So this portfolio website is basically it's done. We have all the pages that we need. The only thing which we could add is like we could add that dashboard, maybe mobile as well. So there are things that can be implemented. But yeah, I think this is enough for now. What we can have now is we can have a little bit of Q&A session. I'm just gonna go to the comments to see if there are any comments. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna upload this code to the GitHub. The video is gonna be uploaded to my YouTube channel, to LinkedIn, and in case you guys are you have joined a little bit later, you can watch. Don't worry. So yeah, there's no problem with that. And let me go and review. There's a lot of comments. Like I said, we're streaming on LinkedIn and on YouTube as well. So yeah, let me answer some of them. There's a lot of greetings, and yeah. So cool. Let me see. Okay. Hi from Brazil. Hi from Mexico. Like I said, there's a lot of people who are joining from southern, from South America. Hi from Cameroon. Hi from India. Hello guys. Let me see just if there are any questions. Yeah, that would be nice to answer. Hello from Bangladesh. Hello guys. I'm web developer from Palestine, from Bangladesh. Hi guys. Greetings from Colombia. Cool. Why not? Why? Okay, let's see. Hi Slobodan. Why not you are using lazy loading? Yeah, that's something that you can definitely use to optimize your website. But I think that it's not necessary for React portfolio website because it's not heavy not very heavy. So this is very light website, and even these images could be optimized, to take less of the performance of the website, but definitely could use lazy loading if there's something much more intense, right? Okay, so there are just some greetings. You're really awesome, man. I'm watching you from Bangladesh. Hello, man. Thank you so much for the support. Okay. Will will you do the skill section today? No, I mean the skill section is something that you don't have to have. You can add the skills to about page. That's something. I mean, I added the skills as a separate and add that globe as some nice detail, but it's not necessary to that. Maybe if people start asking for that one, the same way as they were asking for the portfolio, maybe I would add, but it's not something that I was planning to add this one. Everything is great. Okay. Hello from Nigeria. Africa is watching as well. Hello from Peru. Cool. It's so stunning. Very nice comments. Romania is watching. Okay, good. These are the neighbors. I'm streaming from Serbia, so if somebody doesn't know, so it's Eastern Europe. Okay. You replace data folder. Guys were following. I'm not. I mean, I didn't. I wasn't thinking that people are going to follow line by line, but I see that people were actually trying to help. So Mirko told me here, you replace data folder. Yeah. So basically, I first created that one inside of the components folder, and then I just replaced that. That's fine. You should use absolute path. Definitely, that's something that you can improve. Okay, a question from Alexa. I'm at the meeting now. Somebody is daring to be recording this. Yes, like I said, it's going to be on YouTube and on LinkedIn as well. So no worries. It's going to be uploaded after I finish. I mean, you can go even now and just rewind. Okay, let's see. I cloned your project and managed to create a skill sections page, tips, and my work page on my own. That's great. I mean, I'm super happy that I see that so many portfolio websites similar to mine, and it's such a huge success of this course. And I see that like in a couple of months on Free Code Camp, I got like more than 200,000 views. That's amazing. It's more than what I got in a year for my YouTube channel. So I'm super happy that I got such a great response. Yeah. Cool. Let me proceed. Love from Pakistan. Love for Pakistan. Love from India. Love for India. Should we make render component? I think somebody asked this already. Shouldn't we make render portfolio as a separate component? Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, I was just being lazy, but you definitely should create a separate component, separate file in the separate folder, and that's a need. Can you please share this repo with us? Absolutely. It's going to be in the description of this video, which is going to be uploaded on YouTube and LinkedIn, and it's already on my channel. So the code to entire repo is going to be published, and yeah, you guys can go and download it, follow along, do whatever you guys want. But yeah, it should be available to you guys. Hi from Mozambique. Awesome. Hey guys, this is awesome. This is huge audience. I like these guys. How to start React journey? Well, to be honest, I think that you should have the ground of the HTML, CSS, and you should start with JavaScript first. I see so many people who are just jumping to React right away, and I think it's a wrong way. So you should start with the basics first, and to truly understand React, I mean, and the problem that it solves, you should start with JavaScript. And I made the same mistake before. I started with jQuery at first, and before learning JavaScript that well. So I think that I didn't understand. And a lot of things that I was using on jQuery were actually doable doing just with vanilla JavaScript. And sometimes it's much better to understand why are you using solution, and instead of just going there because of there's big hype of React. And I just want to say that this time I'm doing project with React. I'm planning to do projects with other technologies like Angular View, and I don't know. I'm probably gonna make a poll on my channel and to see what you guys are looking for the most. Like the what are the types of projects that are you looking for and the technologies, and we can make something that is useful for both sides. Something that I also enjoy doing, and you guys can learn a lot as well. And yeah, that's it. Hi from Morocco. Hi, hi everybody. No, I'm super glad that I see so many people that join here and that watch this live stream and this workshop. If you guys have any questions after this stream, please ask me in the comments, and I'll make sure to. I always make sure, at least I try to answer the questions, because I like the support that I'm getting from you guys, and it's something that drives me and makes me to do this all the time and to do this again and again and again. Even though it's taking a lot of my time, and I have a full-time job, I'm managing my YouTube channel, I'm managing the LinkedIn, trying to post the tips every single day and to collaborate with other people. So make sure to subscribe. It means a lot to me. Make sure to follow me on LinkedIn if you want to get daily tips. And now we're gonna have these workshops most likely like in every other week. We need to decide now what we want to build next, and let's break it down into multiple sessions. And we can, you guys can learn a lot. I can revisit some of the skills that I'm not using on daily basis. And if you want to learn these technologies like React on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on all of these resources, you can do that. Uh, you know, you can do that by increasing your knowledge day by day by day. So go through my course on React. It's not complete yet. I'm basically uploading. It's still in progress, but it's a good starting point. You can start covering some topics there. You should read the React documentation. Then you can use these workshops to get your hands dirty, get some real life experience, and it can be really useful. I hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely did, and I see you guys in some of the future workshops. And take care until then.